My friend worked at a cinema and he was like, mate, you know how many hijabi girls I've seen walk into that movie 50 Shades of Grey? Matter of fact, it was like just as many as the non-Muslim girls. Don't think that these girls aren't finding this kind of appealing, that kind of forbidden love, all this kind of other stuff that goes along with it.
So when a woman is in a scenario where, let's say she's home and the cable guy, the proverbial cable guy walks in, or she's with a coworker and they're a little bit close, she can't help but to start fantasizing because she's read about it.
Right.
She's seen it.
Right.
She's heard it. She's listened to
Right.
it. She's bopped her head to it. And now because the programming has already sat deep inside, it's only a matter of time before something else is stuck for Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the reason, His mercy, His blessing that you're abstaining from this and you belittle that and you make fun of that. I know so many women that said, I would never cheat on my husband, and they would make fun of it. They're like, oh, I can't imagine do that. Why do so many women do that? And you get high and mighty. Lo and behold, before you know it, you're caught up with an average Abdullah in your house behind your husband's back. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Halal Bros. You're joined here with your two finest gentlemen in the game, in the podcast game, in the Muslim sphere. We got Fied Fit and we got Fied Fit as well. Assalamu alaikum, boys.
What's up, my brother? What are you saying?
Alhamdulillah, bro.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dan the man, bro. Do you know what the topic is for today?
Unfortunately, yes. I do know what the topic is for today.
Why unfortunately?
I don't know. I feel a bit awkward about this one, mate. Well, why do women cheat, right?
Yeah, I mean, these are taboo topics and we got to talk about them because no other scholar or shuyukh today is emphasizing the importance of preventing these things and how to navigate accordingly.
Well, when you put it like that, it does seem like it's quite a relevant topic.
Extremely relevant, bro. It's very easy to get a wife or a husband. Would you agree? Today.
Well, yeah.
Contrary to what a lot of the folks will say, it's very easy to find a spouse.
It can be, yeah.
To keep them, to keep that attraction, to keep it spicy, as people say. To not get tired. It's very difficult, bro. It's extremely difficult. Many times, unfortunately, of course, cheating ultimately is on the person who cheated, of course. But they could have not done that. There could have been a lot of things that could have been prevented with communication, good, so on and so forth. So before we even go into it, I want you to tell us a little bit about the importance of staying loyal or faithful in a marital setting.
Well, first things first, mate. You know, again, we're Muslims. So this all comes back to pleasing Allah, you know, and obeying Allah, obeying His messenger. When you get married, you've made a covenant before God. You know, this is, it's not your boyfriend, girlfriend rubbish, which is haram anyway, you know, but now you're making almost an oath before God, you know, so you are binding yourself to a religious contract, you know, and that's where it's like, now it's serious now. Now, if you're cheating on your missus or you're cheating on your hubby, you know, you're not just breaking their heart, you're breaking this contract made before God, you know. Again, we're putting this in a Muslim context, and when we're already assuming girlfriend boyfriends are haram, just in case anyone's trying to say, oh, well, you don't mind if they cheat during boyfriend girlfriend stage. No, I just no boyfriend girlfriends.
Period.
There's no really a rule set to the boyfriend girlfriends. You can't really apply a rule set there because, well, it shouldn't really be there in the first place. I know, unfortunately, a lot of people are in that situation. But, you know, when you're in it, the gloves are off now. You know, you haven't got that kind of protection from the Quran and the Sunnah. But when you are in a married relationship, now it's like, now we can talk about that in a bit more detail. So yeah, first things first, why is it wrong? Number one, you're breaking your covenant made before God. And number two is you're breaking the heart of someone else, you know, and you're doing it in totally the wrong way.
Yeah, and I want to touch on the fact that you said breaking the heart of someone else, right? There's a misconception in the Ummah that Muslim women don't cheat. And I don't even know why I have to give this disclaimer, right? Muslim women are still women. As controversial as that might sound. And I know a lot of the sisters are going to be like, oh my God, but men cheat too. And this, listen, cool it, sister. We're going to do the episode on why men cheat soon, very soon. But this one's not on that, unfortunately, right? Whenever you like hammer down and lay down the law for men, you don't see men saying, "Oh, but what about women?" You know what I mean? So let's be diplomatic, let's be fair, right? We already mentioned it. This is about women, and unfortunately, there's a misconception that Muslim women are not like women.
Yeah,
Muslim women are just angels, and they don't have desires, and they don't need to get, and they'll be fine, and all they do is cook and clean, and you don't need to game them and rizz them up.
What's your thoughts on that, by the way, Fahad? in the sense that do Muslim women like to be perceived as innocent angels?
I do.
Do
I
you think
do.
they do like to be
I know
perceived that
they
way?
do. I know they
Okay.
do. And
They don't want to be perceived as just human women and just like that can do haram things and good things and just
well, the desire is there because fundamentally they're still human, just like us.
because one thing I'll say there is you do hear about husbands that are quote unquote too nice, right? And they're like,
Mhm.
my precious thing, you know? And sometimes the girls a bit like you hear stories of the girls a bit like, mate, like shut up,
We're gonna
man.
get
Like,
into that. No, we're absolutely gonna get into that today, bro.
yeah.
That's actually one of the reasons that we're gonna touch on today in the end of the discussion, which is women many times get bored of their partners when
Mm,
it's too predictable, too stable, right?
mhm.
Does it justify it for?
Of
No,
course
of
not.
course not. But if you could prevent that, why not, right?
Mm,
So to get back into it, simply put, Muslim women are the same as non-Muslim women in biology,
mhm,
in fitra, in desire, etc., etc. The only difference is a Muslimah should, and this is the most important part, should obey Allah and obey the Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as you said.
100%.
But
As should the men.
as should the men, but will they always? Not necessarily, just like men. Now, to bring it back to desire, let's kind of smash through this taboo right now. I want you to go into that. This whole taboo that women in general, especially let alone Muslim women, are
Mm,
just sugar and spice. They don't have desires,
and everything
and
nice.
and their fathers are blissfully unaware that their daughter needs to get married. And let's kind of start it from scratch.
Mm,
Because if we talk about her already getting into a marriage with a man who more than likely statistically doesn't understand her desires,
mhm.
it's already too late. Not that we won't touch on that, but let's backtrack and start from where it begins.
Yeah.
Why is society misinformed about the genuine desires of women? And how does that make the woman kind of be molded to conceal that part of her, to be ashamed of that?
Mm. I need you to run that by me. Why? Can you run that by me one more time, my brother? So I understand the
Absolutely, bro.
question.
I'm gonna have you take a sip of that coffee too, bro.
Let me get
Yeah,
some coffee.
it never hurts to get on that nitrous.
Mm.
Bismillah. Editor, zoom in on that. There you go. Bismillah. You gotta take that third sip for Sunnah, bro. You gotta take that third sip. This is a Colombian roast. This is that premium Colombian, absolute dark roast. They literally said 7-Eleven, bro. Who am I fooling? Yeah. But simply put,
Mm.
where does this begin?
Where does what begin?
This programming of programming society and the woman
Mhm.
that she's not supposed to have desires. She's
Mm.
supposed to be a good little girl that doesn't have desires, doesn't have instinct, doesn't have impulse. And what is the effect that that does to her? Does she say, you know what? Forget society. I'm out here. I want men. I want to run through men. Or
Whoa.
or is she gonna be like, you know what? Damn, I can't actually express myself now. I have to tone down.
Listen, look, I guess it's a mixed message for girls, right? Because on one hand, like you're right, especially in the more kind of Muslim societies, you know, we have very conservative values, and you'll find that a lot of cultures really don't acknowledge the of women and the desires of women.
Yeah, you heard of the myth of the female org. Right?
Oh, okay,
For a
yeah.
long time, they thought women couldn't even finish.
What?
Yes, I'm serious, bro.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, that's a thing then. So
That's how bad it was.
yeah. So yeah. So I guess where was I? So they're getting these mixed messages. One hand, the society, the culture is trying to tell them, listen, you gotta be conservative. It's this, it's that. And there's not really room for that kind of expression. They can't open those kind of conversations at home. And the only place that they find themselves having those conversations, or the only place where these ideas are now being put in their head and things like that, is through music, is through very haram movies. Mate, Notebook, I swear that's about I'm pretty sure that's like the most popular movie.
Which one?
Notebook.
Notebook, yeah. As a matter of fact, I don't know a single movie that doesn't have some
Yeah, why is that a thing?
programming,
Anyways,
bro. Programming.
and it's all dressed up with very beautiful, lovely, gentle music, and they paint up the husband as this really bad guy, and then the guy that she's fallen for was the bad guy, but he's gonna be good for her, and this, that, the other, and then they end up cheating, and they have a romantic life, and mate, now I'm thinking of it, they've really glamorized and they've really made that seem like a really cool thing.
Mhm.
And, they dress it up with all that music and all the kind of atmosphere. And, in these movies, it's more than just a story. Particular shots will have music playing in the background. That music can bring certain emotions out. You know what I mean? If anyone's ever listened to music, it's haram, but that music can manipulate your feelings. You know what I mean? Even the shots, right? So maybe when they're meeting with the guy that they're cheating with, it's in the background is like the sunset and like on the beautiful mountain with nature. Whereas when they're with their husband, it's gonna be like he's grumpy. The room is quite grey. It's a dull room. It's not a nice place. It's a kind of golden jail. What's the word? I mean, golden prison with the golden handcuffs. Maybe it's fancy, but it's just lack of life in it. So that kind of programming to make adultery kind of appealing, that's been there for a long time. Put that together with all the music, which just doesn't stop talking about, well, I don't know if we can say WAP, and all these kinds of crazy songs they're just putting out nowadays, which doesn't stop talking about.
For the matter of fact, it only gets worse.
Oh, mate, it gets real bad, mate. Listen, when I've heard these songs, I'm just like, what? It wasn't this bad when I was a kid, mate.
I was in the gym once getting a pump in, and I heard WAP for the first time,
Pause.
and
Go on.
I'm genuinely thinking, I was like, is this actually like, am I just tripping right now? Is this one of those dreams where you wake up and you're like, Subhanallah? No, it kept, the lyrics just kept getting more and more vulgar,
Yeah,
and I was just looking at, and there was this guy, bro, benching, and he's just singing, his lips are just moving along to it like he knew all the lyrics.
that's
And I'm
crazy.
like, damn, bro. And he waited till like the chorus came to just hit that set. I was like, fellas, what is like the Sahabas, radiallahu anhum, they died for this. This is the average man today.
Come on, man.
Astaghfirullah.
Nah, astaghfirullah, bro. So yeah, you got culture telling to be very conservative. The only thing that's talking about sexuality is all these overtly haram things.
Shuyukh are not.
No shuyukh is kind of addressing any of it. Do you know what I mean? You do get some, I guess, a little bit, but not that much, And the dark side is the forbidden side. I mean, look, this is another thing, right? My mate worked in the cinema, right? And when 50 Shades of Grey was popping off, right? And it was a book, and it's like the best-selling book. Why is it the best-selling book? Or you think it's just the non-Muslim girls reading that? Not quite,
course
mate.
not,
My friend worked at a cinema at the time. We were quite many years ago. And he was like, mate, you know how many hijabi girls I've seen walk into that movie, 50 Shades of Grey? Matter of fact, it was like just as many as the non-Muslim girls. Don't think that these girls aren't finding this kind of appealing, kind of stuff appealing, So that kind of forbidden love, that kind of all this kind of other stuff that goes along with it is very appealing to young ladies,
Absolutely.
And I guess, listen, I'm going to throw this out there. Perhaps the solution is, okay, obviously you have to be very careful the media that you consume. And I think that, things like books that have like intimacy scenes in these books, romantic movies that have small scenes, and these movies that are about, or they're about like that tension, even if there's not much, it's about the tension, the intimate tension. I'm not sure which words we can and can't say on YouTube, so I'm using the word tension, that forbidden love tension is, they think it's harmless. It's not harmless. You know what I mean? It's kind of programming you to be more, these movies are making them more sensual.
Absolutely. And
without
they're
them realizing
normalizing the tension.
Exactly.
So when a woman is in a scenario where, let's say, she's home and the cable guy, the proverbial cable guy, walks in, or she's with a coworker and they're a little bit close, she can't help but to start fantasizing because she's read about it,
Right.
she's seen it,
Right.
she's heard it, she's listened to
Right.
it, she's bopped her head to it.
Right.
And now, because the programming has already sat deep inside, it's only a matter of time before something else is stuck for Allah. This is the reality, bro. This is quite literally the reality. May Allah protect us from that. And I want to also make a quick note here. A lot of women think that reading romance novels and things that are even more worse, it rhymes with neurotica. It's somewhat permissible, right?
That ain't permissible.
How would you feel with your woman reading something like that? You wouldn't want that, would you?
I'm not sure which words I can use on YouTube, but I'm thinking of many violent words.
Absolutely.
Not that I want to hurt anybody.
Not her, bro, but obviously.
I'm thinking about that hadith where the Sahaba talks about ghira. If he found his missus with another man in bed, what he would do.
Yes, the Prophet ﷺ, he was like, do you really expect me to, am I really supposed to get 4 male witnesses, at that time? Like I'm
Mm.
supposed to walk in on this scene, this graphic interaction, and I'm about to like pause and say, I'm gonna go get 4 male witnesses. And the Prophet ﷺ said, yes, like those are the laws of Allah, right? And he told Rasulullah ﷺ, he said, by Allah, I will deal with him with my before I even get 4 male witnesses. And
Mm.
Rasulullah ﷺ said, obviously it's like, in an eased manner, he said that by Allah, I have more khairah than you, and Allah has more khairah than me. So
100%.
it's tough. It's very tough, but I don't think and you know what, I'm gonna say this without a shadow of a doubt. I've never been with a woman in my entire life where I've allowed this type of nonsense, bro. I've
Mm.
counseled and coached many brothers that their wives are reading about these things. I'm serious, bro. They're literally reading about these things. They're reading stories about men and women. I know they'll say it's fictional, but bro,
Oh,
that's to
mate,
me, that's a
mate, you
bro.
can get some corn. That's fictional too, mate. You know what
That's
I mean?
fictional too, right?
There's nothing okay with your husband knocking one out to some
What?
corn, mate. That's not cool at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
For me, that's the same. Listen, girls aren't gonna get the same way guys are. Guys need that kind of visual corn.
They're building an emotional connection with the plot.
Girls need that emotional connection with the plot, and it's as though it's something so innocent and
It's
sweet.
wrong.
It is literally trick
Disgusting.
of the shade
Disgusting,
on
bro.
the highest the levels. Get my
It's disgusting,
fired.
bro.
Get the
Yeah, no, absolutely, bro. Like this is disgusting, and there's no excuse for a righteous, pious wife
Mhm.
that you want to take seriously that's gonna be doing stuff like this, bro.
Quick one. If anybody finds themselves in this kind of situation, any guy, I advocate for you to remain calm. Don't get this. That was a joke. Um, if you find yourself in this situation, there's ways to go about it, steps to take, which are not getting the sword. And we're talking about reading things like that rhyme with neurotica, you know what I mean, and watching haram movies that are not necessarily over the top haram, but are just not the right path. You know, there's a better way to deal with it than
Mm.
getting the. And if you find your wife cheating now, inshallah, follow the advice of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and get a divorce, even though that's a lot easier said than done.
Inshallah. Now, let's backtrack it just a little bit into the attraction stages initially, right?
Mhm.
If we can understand and establish something completely cemented today that women have desires,
Mhm.
there's no way around it, bro. I don't care how you want to spin it.
Yep.
No woman is going to be completely okay
Mhm.
being with a scrub
Mhm.
who doesn't take his deen seriously,
Mhm.
doesn't take his fitness seriously, doesn't take his finances seriously, needs her for every little thing, and she's gonna remain completely unyieldingly attracted to her, bro,
Mhm.
or to him. Notice how there was a Freudian slip, bro, because it sounds like a very feminine man. Never, bro, never. So we must acknowledge that women have desires, but when she gets early into this courting stage, into this premarital, let's say they're getting to know one another in halal with the wali's permission, obviously,
Yep.
and they're early getting married, what should, and this is going to be very controversial because I know, listen, I know the hadith where the Prophet ﷺ says, if you're gonna marry for one thing, marry for deen. I know this, right? But again, what did you always say? We're obviously assuming the deen is in place, that the
Mhm.
Quran and Sunnah
Of
is already
course.
in place, bro.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. We're not. We can make all kinds of other videos for all kinds of other
Yeah.
groups of
Oh,
people,
what
and
about this haram relationship, kuffar? Listen, we're not talking about that. Yeah,
is that problem? I feel like it's melting my brain when I hear all this
the
whataboutism, bro.
whataboutism?
I feel.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you've ever watched Hannibal, mate.
Never.
Yeah. Have you seen the bit where Ray Liotta?
Never.
I feel like Ray Liotta being when I hear all this whataboutism, when I go into all these comment sections and people are like, oh, but what about this? I'm like, oh, make it stop. Brother, I wanna
So
some more coffee or less,
we're gonna
perhaps.
do a 100K watch party, inshallah. We're gonna strap Danish to a toy, and then we're gonna put in a bunch of whataboutism clips, just like that, from the Muslims too, just to make it worse. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, to go back into it, right? What to you, before I answer mine, what
Mhm.
to you would be the most advisable traits sisters should look for in a potential husband
Mhm.
to ensure that they stay attracted to him long term, inshallah?
Okay, that is a very good question. I've actually never heard that question be asked before.
Because prevention's the best cure, no?
I've never heard that question be asked before.
Let's prevent
mate.
cheating.
Yeah,
Inshallah.
definitely. I've heard the what traits should you look for in a husband. Oh, he's on Dean and you pray. But what traits should you look for in a husband to make sure you don't cheat on him?
Just remain attracted.
Wow.
Go on.
Very good question, mate. First thing that comes to my mind is good shape. I'm not saying Arnie, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm not saying like a fitness model. I'm saying
Doing something about his physique.
healthy, bruv. Healthy, bruv. Every guy should be going to the gym 2-3 times a week. You know what I mean? To some degree.
But why is that? I thought Muslim women don't have desire. I thought Muslim women don't look at, their husband and want to thirst after him. I thought they're nice and calm.
Nah, women deserve a good looking husband, man. You know what I mean? We talk a lot about even good looking, because sometimes you get guys who aren't necessarily great looking in the face, but they're still attractive. Like you said, no, I'm joking.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that you, bro. No, I'm joking. Mashallah, you're very handsome, my brother.
You too, bro. Come on.
Thank you very much, my bro.
but-
The sisters are like, well, don't talk about my man like that, you know?
Allah Mubarak.
Yeah, fine, fit, got them. You're a fitner, bro. Okay, what you should look for.
You said shape.
Number one is good shape.
Let me elaborate on that a little bit. The reason has to be largely biological. It's hardwired, right? Women find dominant men attractive.
Yeah.
And this doesn't mean domineering or oppressing, obviously, before the whataboutism mob comes for you. But this means strictly just dominant.
Masculine.
Women want taller men.
Yeah.
Stronger men.
Yeah.
Bigger men.
Yeah.
They don't want somebody shorter than them. I know they'll say, oh, it's in the inside, I don't need this, but they always go for what? 6-pack, 6 foot, 6 figures, 666, right? It's like classic, trademark. So to get the shape, I'm not going to say it's the determinant, right? But I'm going to say there's wisdom into why you said that as number one. Because I feel that if many of the things are not really there, but the fitness is there, there's a thing called the halo effect. Do you know about it?
The halo effect. I feel like you may have mentioned this to me once before.
It's basically like men and women that are perceived as more physically attractive, more sensually attractive, right? They're a little bit more attractive.
Okay.
These men and women are just given away with a little bit more elbow room, a little bit
Pretty
more
privilege.
kind of like that, yeah. So
like pretty privileged.
you got somebody who looks better, right? They're just given and ascribed more authority, more trustworthiness, more discipline, more honor. Even though they might not be integrous at all, they're just given that. So, essentially, they're easier to get away with stuff, if that makes sense.
Yes,
so,
of course, yeah.
So to keep this in mind, right, understand that. And I know this is not like every single time, but if you have a woman, if you have a missus, and you guys are just arguing 24/7, but mate, come on, she
Gabe.
looks good. Halal baddie.
Oh, mate.
Pious painting.
Get away with a lot.
Not that she would get away with a lot, but when things are centered again, it's sweet, bro. Let's admit it, right?
All of a sudden, man, them get a lot more patient.
All of a sudden, we have more rahmah.
Yeah.
Where did this sabr come from, bro?
Yeah, much more sabr, brother. Yeah.
I'm not now. Obviously, this doesn't mean to simp, but it's a little bit more rewarding. The makeup, I'm talking about everything. The whole 9 yards is just banging, bro. Compare that to a woman now too. If she has a husband who she completely looks at and she's like, Allahumma barik, bro. If it wasn't haram to prostrate to him, I would have. Just like the hadith says, where the Prophet ﷺ mentions that if I were to instruct any of you to prostrate to any other than Allah, it would be wives to their husbands. Now, if a woman doesn't really rate her man, she's probably not going to want to do that.
Right.
Obviously, this is like complete metaphor, but number one, is it really? But number two, you want a woman that completely sees you as that guy. Now, let's say money takes a little bit of a dip. Let's say, you know what? He's just a little bit stressed, or he's not that guy in like some dunya endeavor, or maybe they're just arguing a little bit more. But he still physically is a top specimen compared to most men.
Yeah.
There's going to be a little bit more that he gets away with.
Of course.
So, yeah, I'm not saying this is going to be every single time, right? But if a woman's with a man she's not physically attracted to, and she cheats on him with a man she is physically attracted to, if it was going to be only for that reason alone, you can contribute to minimizing that by being a man that she is physically attracted to. So this doesn't mean every man that is physically attractive will not get cheated on.
Of course.
But if one of the predominant reasons is your wife not physically attracted to you, override that. Prevent that by being a fine specimen on Lumabatic. Hit me up at Fahad Fit, I'll show you how. And you might prevent that, inshallah, if Allah wills, because it might be a contributing factor to her resenting you.
Mm.
It's kind of like men too, bro. If our wife is, let's say, staying in shape, everything's good, she's taking care of her physique for us and pleasing us and staying, keeping us attracted to her, right? Allahumma barik. But if she lets herself go over time and not like childbirth, I'm not talking like the exception. I'm talking like severely lets herself go.
Mm.
You married her at 120 pounds. She's now in the 200 club.
Bombara.
She heavier than me at this point.
Mm.
Then what do you do at that point, right? So I'm not saying that if you're attractive, your man won't cheat on you. But if the reason he's cheating on you is because he's not attracted to you, you can at least prevent the chances of that happening by being a woman that he's attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
Am I just crazy? Am I too superficial, bro?
No, 100, bro. So first things first for men, that we knocked off one thing. Being in shape, being presentable, wearing nice clothes, smelling good, being attractive. And it's not rocket science. Right.
Absolutely.
What's number 2, brother? What else can a man
You want me
do?
to take over?
Well,
I'll do number 2, you do number 3.
We'll do one. Okay.
We'll take turns, bro.
Go for it, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to take a sip too then.
Go for it.
Yeah, guys, Danish doesn't share his drinks, just so you guys know. It doesn't mean he don't got love for you. He's just super...
I'm a coffee addict, mate.
You're a coffee addict.
I mean, I drink
What
coffee.
happens to the hadith of you should want for your brother what you want for yourself?
I'll go buy you a coffee. Let's go buy you a coffee, mate.
Okay, so number 2, and this is something, unfortunately, I know is going to get a lot of criticism today. I know a lot of the whataboutism mob is going to come after us and say, Akhi, it's 2024. It's very difficult. Listen, bro, finances. Many times, not always, but many times, a woman can't fully respect, obey, and submit to her husband if he's not carrying financially. Does this mean he has to make 100K?
No.
What does that mean?
It means that he needs to provide her with some standard of living that can basically retire.
At the very least, according to Quran and Sunnah.
100%.
At the very least, roof, food, basic clothing, right? Give her that decent lifestyle. That's all he needs to do. Sure, obviously he should do more than that, right? But he should at least be providing this. If she has to work to fulfill I'm talking about bare minimum basic necessities, she's not going to respect him, bro. And if she has to work with him side by side, she has to get a job too, to have a higher lifestyle. Now that's a little bit debatable. Because they might say, you know what, I want that G-Wagon, I want this. My husband doesn't make 100K, so I'm going to work too. So we can be that power couple, that corny power couple, and we can do it together.
Yeah.
And it might be sincere for the first bit, but the more that women work because they're not equipped for it, bro, they're going to be tired, bro. Think about it like this.
What happens if...
When a man comes home after a long day of work, bro, I don't care if I had 16-hour shift, 20-hour shift. If I come home and my wife is presentable, food is cooked, house is clean, babies are tucked in, bro, it's going on right away on site, bro. But for a woman, even if she comes home from a part-time job, 4 hours, 5 hours, right? She's battered, bro. Mentally, she's stressed. Yeah. All she's going to be talking about for the next couple hours with you is this happened with the coworker. Oh my God, Susan did this at work. And this, it's like, it's so unattractive when the only thing your wife talks to you about is her job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying it as it is, bro. And obviously vice versa too. But, as a woman, she's not equipped for that, bro. And then you're trying to get frisky, bro. She got no energy for you.
She's trying to chill, headache.
Headache, bro.
She's got a headache.
Oh, I have another 8 a.m. shift, bro. Come on, bro.
Long things.
Absolute long things. So, finances. Why? Again, it's hardwired in them because they want provisioning.
You hear a lot about this, mate. What if, and what's your thoughts on this? Because you do hear this being spoken of sometimes. What if the woman starts to earn more than the man? What happens then, mate? Let's just say she started off with a little. Let's just say because I was gonna say to you, right? If you are gonna work as a girl, try to find a job that allows you to remain in your feminine frame. You know what I mean? Whether working from home, whether it's part-time, whether it's with other sisters.
I'm not gonna say it's not possible, bro. I'm not gonna say it's not possible.
But yeah,
that women can't have a man that they earn more than. But like you're saying, if it's permissible, if there's no men involved in the mix, no pun intended, if she's making halal income from home, not compromising hijab, even then, it could compromise, and I'll tell you how. A lot of women, because they just love masculine dominant men, just like you said, masculinity, right?
Mhm.
They just I've heard a lot of sisters say this. They can't marry a guy that's even a day
Younger
younger
than
than
them.
them. And they
Yeah.
can't marry a
Yeah.
guy that's the same height as them. If they're making 90K, they want a man that's at least making that money.
Mm.
And it just has to do with dominance. And there's many reasons. Perhaps she saw her mother fend for herself because her father wasn't taking charge.
Mhm.
And because of that, she just doesn't want to be in that situation again. So she wants a man that makes more than her, just so no matter what, he won't have to depend on her finances.
Well, mate, if you remember, mate, even Daniel was saying that dependency is actually attractive. You know what I mean? Being dependent on a man makes you more attracted to that man.
Makes you
So
more attracted or attractive. I would say both.
the
Because when a
both,
woman
both,
depends on
yeah.
us, we rate her more.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
when she keeps yielding to and depending on a man, she starts
Being
that's why, bro, I
attracted
would
to him
always
as
say this
well.
too, and I got canceled for this on TikTok, bro. This clip I think got like 500K views and probably 100K hate comments, bro. Back
Don't
then.
TikTok me, bro. Go
Don't
on.
no
Yeah.
TikTok me, bro. I'm gonna say it again. I basically said that a woman that's in the workforce and she has a husband and she has a boss that's giving her commands and directions and telling her to do things, she's slowly gonna start rating him like that, bro. Because women love taking directions and being told what to do from a man that they see as that guy. And if you're paying the bills and you're not her husband, but you're paying the bills, you're telling her, okay, do this, do that, and she's doing everything by the book, sooner or later, she's gonna start forming some level of attraction to her, bro.
Yeah, man. You know, I thought about that, you know, and even the idea of another guy trying to tell my wife, "Oh, go get me a coffee, get my coffee ready," or something. If you're working as a PA or something like that, mate. Nah, man. I don't want no guy telling my missus what to do, man. My missus is that's my princess. That's my girl. That's my baby girl. I don't want no guy telling her what to do. Do you know what I mean? I don't want somebody trying to demand something of my wife. Do you know what I'm saying? That's my love. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, if she can, like we mentioned a few times, if there's like a halal outlet of working where she can remain in a feminine
She
frame,
wants to sell butterfly abayas online on Etsy.
nothing wrong with butterfly buyers, mate. A lot of people making a lot of money from buyers. Yeah,
That's cool, right?
she could. Yeah, that's cool. My
Yeah.
missus wants to sell some butterfly buyers. Have at it. You know what I mean? Or do something that is even just at least if she was reporting to another woman, I can kind of swallow that a little bit better. But even then, it's
But
like
if she wants to say, you know what,
some.
Dan, you know what, Danish, my lovely husband, I want to be the receptionist at a barber shop in downtown Chicago.
Like, you're mad. First of all, downtown Chicago, you get like, I don't want to work in downtown Chicago at a barbershop.
My man's like, I don't even want to work
Yeah,
there.
man. Like, come on, boo. Like, what's going on? Like, from what I've heard, that they call it Chirac. You know what I mean?
Chi-town, for
Yeah,
sure.
Chi
Yeah,
Town.
absolutely.
No, because I heard that the basically a lot of in Chicago.
But she's gonna say, but Danish, they don't see me like that. You're overreacting.
We ain't talking about. We ain't.
She's gonna say, Danish, you don't understand it. They come in to get a fade in a lineup. They're not coming to get me on a lineup.
Hey, listen, we ain't talking about Zina right now. We're talking about drive-by. We're talking about downtown Chicago, bro. What's going on? Nah, listen, I get your point. Yeah, we're talking about she's working in an all-male environment. Yeah,
Obviously, it's even haram in the first place.
let's remove downtown Chicago. Let's say Dubai, where ain't no drive-bys happening. You know what I mean?
The only drive-by is just picking up food.
Yeah, there we go.
Drive
Mate.
through.
Drive through, mate. We get some drive-throughs going. Yeah, nah, man. Nah, man. Nah, man. I don't want my missus to be working in an all-male environment. I think most guys want that, and of course, extreme example, but in general, yeah, you don't want your missus reporting to next guys. I don't want anyone to hold my woman to anything. You know what I mean? Oh, have you done this job today? Why isn't this done? Get this done by the deadline. Even if it's a woman, you know what I mean? Like, watch how you talk to my wife. You know what I mean? That's my inclination.
Boom. And why will this prevent that? Why will her having a man who financially can just carry, why will that prevent cheating in many cases?
Well, again, it's to do with attraction. You know, like Daniel said, I think dependency is attractive. You know what I mean? You are seen as the provider. You know what I mean? You're the man at the house. You know, if you start earning more than your husband, you'll be like, I don't even need this guy no more. He ain't a matter what. You know what I mean? Matter what, I can buy a bigger house than this now. You know, I can take us to a nicer restaurant and he could take me. So what's going on in here?
So I wanna touch on the third point, right? If you're done with that.
Chat to me.
I just wanna it's a very important point, and I think that this one is very underrepresented and it gets the underhand many times, unfortunately.
I have a feeling I know what you're gonna say. and
It's a
this-
man that doesn't place boundaries. A big leading cause of cheating, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I believe there's a hadith where it basically says, at least from the Islamic tradition, that a man and a woman are not alone except that shaitan is a third in the room.
Mhm.
I'm sure you heard of this, right? It's even like when you study about the story of Yusuf alayhi salam in the Quran.
Mhm.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says he would have given into it, into the advances, if it wasn't for his fear of us, his fear of Allah, his taqwa, his consciousness, right?
Mhm.
So where am I getting with this? As a man and as a woman, right? There's a reason free mixing is haram. There's a reason being alone with the opposite gender, unsupervised, unnecessarily, is completely prohibited in Islam, because you might have no desire for that person today. I don't care if he's your cousin. I don't care if non-mahram is non-mahram, bro, period. If you are in a room, it's very easy. The line is very thin between unattractiveness to being in bed with them. Subhanallah. We know about even the story of Barsisa, bro. We can go into that another day. But simply put, a man that places boundaries into a woman, it will prevent her from cheating more than likely, because she's not even in these situations to begin with, bro.
Mhm.
This is a man that says, nobody is coming into my house, as Islam says, without my permission.
100%.
You ain't going anywhere without letting me know. Cancel me if you want to, bro, for saying this, but this is the ideal dynamic, right? This doesn't mean now, before the mob comes for me, that a man is out there till 4 a.m. She doesn't know about his whereabouts. She's carrying the kid and she's nursing, and the kid's about to, how is she gonna do this?
Yeah.
All that whataboutism nonsense aside, bro. If you're a woman and you're watching this video, and for any reason your man doesn't have boundaries, he lets you have male friends,
Mhm.
he lets you be out at night with random people in random places in downtown Chirac, he lets you mix with your male cousins, because in his culture it's family, and family comes over deen, a'udhu billah. If this is the case, more than likely he's allowing you to be in a position where shaitan will come and you. But a real man is understanding of that, and because he loves you, he's going to protect you from these things even happening. That's why we'll put number 3 as a man that places boundaries. This will severely prevent the chances of, inshallah. You might call me extreme, bro, but no woman of mine even watches men on YouTube. I'm going to say it as it is, bro. If it's dawah, I make them listen to it, bro. Straight up. There's no, but what if it's Asim al-Hakim, bro? Nah, bro. Listen, Sheikh Asim, Allah barak, Allah barak fiq.
I love
Keep
Sheikh
doing you.
Asim, yeah.
I love Sheikh Asim too.
Yeah, I love Sheikh Asim.
I'm gonna watch Sheikh
He's a
Asim.
G, yeah, I'm watching
Not
Sheikh
my
Asim.
wife.
Nah.
You get me? I'm serious, bro. And call me what you want. Call me misogynist. Call me toxic masculinity. Whatever. She's only allowed to look at me, bro. Her eyes are only reserved for me, and that's everything, bro. Like, on God.
Love that. Straight. Bro, listen, there's 2 more things I wanted to talk about. Yeah, and I
So
really
number 4 and number 5.
Oh, mate. Let's say number 4. Let's go with number 4.
Sure.
All right, because the number 5 I think is actually very critical. You know, I think it's actually super critical, that I think it's completely disregarded. People, I don't think would even think it's a thing. Right.
Is that what you thought I was gonna say for number 3?
It's what I thought you were gonna say for number 3.
Boom.
Right. But I'm gonna throw out number 4 out there.
Let's do it
I
first.
want you to do number 5, right? I'm gonna do number 4. Okay, cool. When you were talking about all this kind of like, you know, don't be alone in a room, don't be this, don't be that, not my cousin, don't be alone with your cousin, etc., etc., etc. Okay. If you thought to yourself, anybody watching this thought to themselves, yeah, okay, other people can't be alone with their cousin, but not me. I know my cousin, and you know, we would never have a problem in that area.
You're part of the problem.
I'd never be attracted to my cousin in that way. Listen, there's many people doing many years in prison right now because they told themselves, I would never someone. I would never do XYZ crime that's extremely bad that I can't say on YouTube because we get shadow banned.
Let alone doing XYZ with a man.
There you go.
But now that they're in prison, what has changed?
There you go. Most people who are doing the big bad sins are the people who thought to themselves they would never ever do that sin.
So forgive me, brother, because there was a lot. What was your main point for number 4?
Assuming that you are above the sin.
Ooh, I was going to say that too, bro.
Yeah.
Because there was a saying amongst, I don't know if it was a hadith, at least a Sahaba would say it, that you will not until you do the sin that you're belittling or making fun of. And the
Mm.
reason being is because when you go around saying, oh, I would never cheat on my missus, or oh, I would never this, or I would never drink that, right? You're basically making a distinction in your mind that the reason you're abstaining from the sin is because of your own arrogance and your own power and strength. But there is no might and strength except with Allah. So when you forget that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the reason, His mercy, His blessing, that you're abstaining from this and you belittle that and you make fun of that. I know so many women that said, I would never cheat on my husband.
Boom.
And they would make fun of. They're like, oh, I can't imagine do that. Why do so many women do that? And you get high and mighty. Lo and behold, before you know it, you're caught up with an average Abdullah in your house behind your husband's back.
Woof. Astaghfirullah. Listen, and this goes for men as well, men and women. None of you is above a sin. None of you can, oh, I'm impervious to this sin. I'm impervious to zina. I'm on my deen, and I'm impervious of this and impervious of that. Listen, Allah is the turner of hearts. You could wake up tomorrow as a kafir, as a non-Muslim.
You could go to sleep tonight as a kafir.
You could go sleep tonight as a kafir. You know what I mean? You don't know. Allah is the one who guides. Allah is the one who can flip your heart if you wanted. Do you know what I mean? So let's just say if you can wake up tomorrow as a kafir, and this is a Islamic principle, you know, and that's why we make a lot of dua, even in Al-Fatiha, we pray to be kept on the straight path.
I mean,
right? So, and we pray for guidance constantly. Everybody, whenever we're making dua, we're always making dua, Allah to keep us on the straight path, to keep us on the straight and narrow, not to make us of those who have earned your anger, etc., etc., etc. This is what we're constantly being taught, right? So if you can wake up tomorrow as a kafir, which is the worst sin, you know, if you on that, you're done, mate. You know what I mean? You can't. There's no coming back, right? The non-Muslim, Jahannam. Yeah. So
at least, at the very least, as an ex-Muslim, even.
you know,
Oof.
and as also, so in which case, if that's the case, if you can wake up and have committed the worst thing you could possibly do, right? What's the double? That's nothing compared to shirk.
And that's why it's established that when people think that, oh, I get into Jannah only because of my deeds, ultimately it's the rahmah, it's the mercy of Allah.
Mercy of Allah, 100%.
So let me tackle it down with number 5 if you're done.
I'm not done.
Go in, bro. Go
I've
in.
got a couple more things to say on this.
Bismillah,
So
bro.
first things first, you have to acknowledge you are not above the sin, and you need to make dua that Allah is going to keep you safe from that, and you need to put precautions in place in your life to keep you safe from that. That's a message to the brothers and to the sisters. Make dua that Allah protects you from these sins and protects you from committing these sins, because you're not above it. Okay. Other thing,
and that He gives you the taqwa to even acknowledge that you're not above it. Because how many of us think that, you know what? Sure, I'll make dua that I don't fall into that. But deep down, they're still like, you know what? I'm that guy. I'm the reason why I do this and I do that.
Listen, and one more thing I want to say about this is, listen, Prophet Yusuf, right? Alayhi salam. Okay? He himself is a prophet of God. You are not on the level of Prophet Yusuf. All right? All the stories that's told about him, etc., etc., none of us are on his level. He's a prophet of God, way beyond us. What did he do when the woman approached him? He made dua to Allah. He called to Allah to protect him. You're not on Prophet Yusuf's level. You're no way near it. Neither am I. Neither is Fayed. No one living today.
So how dare we think we don't need to make dua?
So what makes you think you're above it? If a prophet of God looked to Allah to protect him from that sin, who are you? Who am I? Who is anyone else? And if I'm not mistaken, it says if it weren't for Allah, then he could have fallen into that.
He would have given in.
Exactly.
Absolutely, bro.
If it weren't for Allah, he could have given in. So that's another thing. You are not on that level, so be humble. And be humble with the fact that you are susceptible to the shaitan. You're a human being. You were created weak, and you need Allah to keep you safe. And you need to put precautionary measures in place to keep you safe from sin, safe from zina. You're not the guy. You're not the girl who can handle it. You're not that person.
You're not who you think you are, bro.
You're not who you think you are, bro.
Is that it?
That was it.
Number 5. I got number 6 too, but number 5.
Should I say what I think it was going to be, or do you want to go for it?
You tell me what it is.
Okay. So, girls, they like the mystery. They like the bad boy. They like that kind of stuff, right? They've been overexposed to it through music, through movies, through books, as we mentioned. Okay. I feel like, and I want you to talk about this, how is a guy going to simulate that mystery that the girl doesn't get bored with them?
That's an entirely different episode, bro.
That's
And
a
that was
different.
not this one. Yeah.
Okay.
So in a whole episode, me and you are gonna go into how to keep that romance, how to keep that spark, how to keep attraction in marriage for both spouses. Right? So it's very important we talk about that. But number 5 is gonna be, bro, simply put, your kebab game. I don't know how else to put it, bro.
Okay.
You gotta be laying down that kebab, bro.
Okay.
The way that it's
Gotcha.
supposed to be. You cannot.
Did
I
not
know.
agree
I
that
know
one.
they'll say, "Oh, you know,
right.
there's a big tab. Oh, size doesn't matter, and oh, it's the motion of the ocean, or it's women only need it once a month."
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
mate. Come on, mate.
Come on, geezer.
Come on,
Come
geezer.
on, geish.
Mate, listen. We're Muslims at the end of the day, bro. We're qawam. Are we not? Are we not supposed to at least try to be qawam, bro? Were we not like the standard of men today, that even non-Muslim women on TikTok are just, oh, I just wish I had me a Muslim man that would just take care of me, put me in my place, bro. Listen, if you think that being with your missus for 5 seconds at a time, finishing, going back to work, and there's no intent, no allure, no intrigue, no temperature, no heat. If you think this makes you a man, bro, wallahi, bro, you have the whole plot lost at that point. There is so much. You got some glisten in your eyes and you got a cheeky smile on your face. What's going on, bro? Editor, zoom in on that.
No, 100, bro. This is you gotta put that work in. There's no two ways to put it. You know what I'm saying? There's no two ways to put it. You gotta put.
There's only one way to put it, bro. That's it.
There's only one way to put it.
That's it.
A lot of communication. You need to have communication with your missus around this. You need to put the work in. You need to make it in shape. We talk about why women cheat. There's many aspects to this, and there's many things you can do as a man. There's many things you can do as a sister. It's a whole team sport. This whole thing is a team sport. And one of the parts of this, one of the roles of the man is to make sure he's putting in that work. And I'll put another thing out there. It's another thing from the sister in that realm is to communicate what she likes, what she doesn't like, what she's interested in, what she isn't interested in.
Absolutely.
If something's going wrong, to communicate in the right way. Don't just be like, "What was that, mate?" I
want to give a quick little message right now to my baba and to my ma. When that episode comes, please don't watch that episode. Trust me. And they're probably going to still watch that episode, bro. And I can't control them, but just please don't watch that episode.
Mate, I'm shy myself. I might have to walk out.
Please don't. It's going to be a solo. I don't want it to be a solo, bro. But number 6, protect the privacy of your marriage from evil eye. How many brothers and sisters put themselves out there? How many of them are just putting everything? Bro, how many women do we know? Maybe we went to school with them, Anytime their man would do something for them, get them a gift. You saw it on their Snap story, on their Instagram story. How many times, bro? And it's just, oh my God, guess what my boyfriend did? Guess what my husband did, right? What do you think other women who are by default competitive and jealous, when they see that and they're like, my husband doesn't do that. My boyfriend doesn't do that. Or they're single and they're like, oh, that should be me. Not you, Stacy, that should be me. Or vice versa, men. What do you think happens when, as a man, your homeboy keeps describing his wife with vivid details to you, bro? Listen, evil eye is a real thing. Best believe that. And if you are opening the doors for observers, for voyeurs, best believe that humans are not going to be the only ones watching. And when that time comes and shaitan gets into the mix, is one step away.
Yeah, man. Number one, man, them have some protective jealousy of your wife.
Have some ghayra, bro.
Yeah, don't be talking about your missus to nobody, bruv.
And don't be showing off your missus too.
Nah, man.
What is this? Why is it that? Why do you think, bro? I genuinely want to ask you. Why do you think men want to show everyone the baddie that they copped, and it makes them seem as higher value? Why do you think that is?
I'm not even sure. So I can't relate.
I have a theory.
I can't relate to that. What's up?
I genuinely have a theory, bro. From all the counseling that I've done with men.
Yeah.
That when you watch porn, when you watch haram, right? You are basically desensitizing yourself to seeing another man in bed with the woman that you actually want. Everything, you're basically, bro, you're spending an hour, 2, 3, 4 hours to find the perfect video, perfect skin tone, perfect hair. You already know the vibes, bro. Many times, unfortunately. Only to then sub in the next man to go in with this woman. And anytime His success is your success. His game is your game. His pleasure is your pleasure. You are basically forming a conditioning to being a I said it, bro. Cancel me if you want, but I said it. So what happens is this type of dayuth behavior is going to translate into the real world. So when you see other men finding your woman attractive, you're going to be like, I like that. And before you know it, it's a very slippery slope. The pipeline is a very slippery slope before you're here in the corner and you're subbing in a next man actually in bed with your wife and you're getting off to that instead of just being with your wife and putting her in your place.
May Allah protect us, bruv. That's what I got to say about that. May Allah protect
You get
us,
the
bruv.
theory though.
I get the theory, 100%.
And people think watching porn has no repercussions, bro.
Nah, man. It pollutes your mind.
At the very least, also, you're normalizing yourself to seeing male You shouldn't.
Hey, listen.
Think of it. When do you ever see people having before the advent of the corn industry? Like, let's say in the 1800s, 1600s, right? The only person you're seeing having is you with your wife, right? Would you ever be seeing anybody else having it? No. And if I ask you today, even with corn, if you're in a room and people are in their business, would you be watching them, let alone getting off to them in the corner of the room? No. So why is it okay behind a screen? Oh, no one's watching. Bro, Allah's watching. You know?
100%, bro. 100%. And you were saying the don't let evil eye into your relationship.
Absolutely.
100%.
A private life is a happy life.
And the other thing I was going to say to that, add on to that, which kind of follows up quite nicely, is don't be obsessed with don't be watching these fake couples on Instagram, on
we
TikTok.
about to make a video on that.
That's a whole other topic, but it's all a load of, can I say bollocks on YouTube?
Yeah, you can say bollocks.
It's all a load of bollocks. Listen, it's a fugazi. They're famousing you. It's an act. It's a charade. It's a sham. You're not there for all the rubbish that you see. And as much as you tell yourself, I know that this is just the best parts. They're just hiding all the bad parts. As much as you tell yourself that, it's all about what you're feeding your mind. Your subconscious is going to absorb certain things, whether you like it or not. You're going to get certain impressions made on you, whether you like it or not. And if you see this fake couple on Instagram and they're making all these TikToks together, ha ha ha, hijabi and the abaya and the man in the thobe and the beard, and they look like perfect Muslim couple, you don't know 1% of their relationship. You don't know what's going on. Stop consuming that content. I would encourage anyone to stop making that content because I think it's a very big fitna. It's very fun for sisters to watch it, but it corrupts the mind. You know, it gives you a very unrealistic. And at one point, you're going to look at your husband or you're going to look at your wife. And, you know, I think this is more of a fitna for the girls, to be honest with you. I don't know guys who follow like relationship couples, maybe unless I'm out of touch. Or couples on Instagram, unless I'm just out of touch with them and them. But yeah, as a girl, like you're gonna end up looking at your husband being like, oh, he hasn't got that same cut. His hair isn't, he didn't got a fresh haircut today. You know what I mean? When they're making these videos, they're making sure they're looking on point. They got the fresh haircut, put a little bit of oil on their face, making sure they're looking fresh. And then you can look at your husband, just got home from work, exhausted, hasn't shaved his head today, so he's wearing a hat. And so, you know, you might be thinking, real, like, actually, like, you know, it can put you off your husband. It's going to create an unrealistic and unattainable standard, you know? And why isn't my husband, you know, getting the cream on my nose and he's wiping it off my nose and giggling?
And men too, bro. If you keep watching corn all day, 4K and AI and all this,
yeah,
what woman's going to compete with that, bro?
Brother, I feel like that's point number one on why men cheat. Like the top 3 points.
Absolutely.
You know, unless, again, sisters, we're coming for the men. It's going to be much easier to go hard on the men as well. I'm trying to be more gentle.
Simply put, with women, they need to water their garden, bro. Unfortunately, many sisters, you know, they're looking presentable. They're getting all dolled up. They got these nice outfits. They're pleasing their husband. And then a couple months in, oh, it's okay. And it's why is that okay? It's that meme, bro, of like the kuffar. Obviously, our women don't go outside dressing like next to nothing, right? But it's that meme of like the kuffar. It's like, you know, you got a woman in a nice, like, tight little dress, hourglass physique. That's outside. And it's like how she dresses outside and then how she dresses at home. She's like raggedy, old sweatpants. Not that she shouldn't be comfortable, right? But she's beautifying herself for the world. But the chump that's actually financing that, she ain't putting her best foot forward, bro, unfortunately, right? So how many sisters, unfortunately, right now, they're like, I'm bored. I'm tired. I can't look at my husband like that. But You forget that you have to be a woman that should be trying to earn his pleasure. And I know there's a whole taboo to, oh, what if my husband doesn't even know my desires? What if he's not like that? And therefore I
Communicate.
can't communicate. Go into that, bro. How can a Muslim woman who's with a man that she just doesn't find attractive, but there's things that he can fix, right? Because obviously we talk to the fellas too.
Yeah.
But how can this woman communicate with her man?
Well, listen, yeah, again, we're assuming there's things he can fix. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's just, listen, sometimes you find yourself in a situation where it's a no go and divorce is there for a reason and yada, yada, yada. But assuming there's things that he can fix, number one, when you communicate with your husband, don't just be like, "What's going on here, mate? Can you just fix yourself, please?" You know, approach it in a nice way. You know, what I mean, be clear. You know, what I mean, be direct, but be gentle in your speech.
Polite and mature.
Because at the end of the day, the more confident your husband is, and this goes for men and women, be careful how you speak to your missus as well. When husband and wife are communicating with each other, make sure you're communicating with kindness and make sure that when you're phrasing certain things, don't put your partner down. You know what I mean? Don't just be like, yo, like you can say things in a nice way.
Yo, you're ugly.
You ugly, you know, or
No,
just say your hair's messed up. Say, listen, I love it when you do your hair better. You know what I mean? Or like you shave your head and don't wear hats all the time. You know what I mean? I love it when you, I don't know, your beard is looking on point. I love it when you wear that kind of clothing at home. You know, you've just said the same. You just basically told them you don't like the way they're dressing at home, but you said it in a nice way, and it's a lot more easier to receive. And also, if you break a man or you break a girl's confidence, they're going to be less attractive. They're going to be able to be because confidence is attractive. Do you know what I mean? If your husband is at home confident in how he's looking and you've already advised him to kind of fix up his clothes, fix up this, you can wear it with confidence. He's going to be more attractive. But if he's changed the clothes, but you've broken his confidence in the meantime and he's there like, is this shirt okay now, babe? You know?
Hype up your man, bro.
You know,
There's nothing wrong with
You
that.
gotta hype up each other, hype up each other, hype up your missus, hype up your husband, and the more confident you are, the more you give that positive reinforcement, the more they're gonna do these things with a smile and with positivity,
Yeah,
and you're gonna be more attractive as a result.
that was on point, bro. You know those girls on TikTok that they do corny couple stuff with their man. There was one that was doing, it was a prank. It was like trying to see if my husband gets jealous prank or something like that, right? Muslima, hijabi, astaghfirullah.
Yeah.
And she's saying, oh, Sophia's husband does this. Why don't you do this? Oh, Sarah's husband does this. Why don't you do this? Oh, Isla's husband does this. Why don't you ever take me here? Bro, how much of a turnoff is that when women say, but the husband's not saying anything? And it makes you wonder, if this is how she's treating him on camera, imagine how it is off camera. It's like those pranks you see of women hitting their husbands on camera and all this. If that's on camera, imagine what the flip she's doing to him off camera, bro. Astaghfirullah.
Right, but
Straight.
and listen, look, don't compare your guy to other guys. You know what I mean? If you want to say, listen, Sarah's husband took it, or Fatima's husband took her to here, you don't have to say Fatima's husband did this. You could just say, hey, listen, I really love this place and I would love to go see it. And I feel like you're always so nice to me. And when you do stuff that like you take me places, it just really makes me feel happy.
If they talk
You know
like
what I mean?
that to you, bro, they can get the whole world.
Oh, mate, listen, I'll teach you all about how to talk to your man. Just be like batting your eye. No, I'm joking. Listen, look, but that's exactly it. Listen, if you come to your husband,
Women know how to talk to their man to get what they want, yet they'll still just not talk to him that way. It's like, what's the problem with talking to him in a nice, sweet way? You still win, bro. I mean, sis, you still get what you want.
it's ego.
Just
Yeah,
do it.
I think
I think it's programming.
ego. You know what I mean? Because like, put it this way, like men have a hero complex. You know what I mean? Most men have a hero complex. You know what I mean?
What's a hero complex?
They want to be the hero of their wives. You know what I mean? They want to be the
Prince Charming.
the knight, and yeah, they want to be perceived as Prince Charming to their missus. They want to, brother, and they want to be the knight in shining armor. You know, that comes home and their wife is like, oh my god, the hubby's home. Wow, you're so great and you're so good to me. So just play on that a little bit. You know what I mean? Feed his ego in the right way. You know, and you'll get the returns from it. And I think a lot of girls already know that. You know, some girls are doing that right, and they can kind of like twist their guy to do what they want by playing that, oh, I'm just a little girl, take care of me card, you know what I mean? But then they've got other sisters who got too much ego for that, you know what I mean? And it's like, ego for what? Just get your bag, okay? Get your bag, sis. You know, get what you want, you know, by being sweet.
Your
and
biggest
kind.
asset is a righteous husband, sisters. Trust me when I tell you this.
Being kind and gentle with your husband, it's a win-win for both of you. You get what you want. He feels like the hero. Boom, bam, bim.
But unfortunately, bro, a lot of the sisters that don't want to be receptive to it, they'll never be. You know, they'll say, "Oh, don't obey anyone but Allah," as if Allah doesn't tell you Himself to obey your husband,
Oh mate, I've done a
right?
bit on that. If you haven't watched it on TikTok already,
Let's talk about that off camera.
we took our
Uh,
time, mate.
but with that being said, bro, is there anything else you want to add to this?
My brother, I think we've covered a lot of stuff. I think that
I love the point you made about having dua to Allah, making dua to Allah, because you are not alone in this. You could be just like the next guy or girl
mm,
if you're not careful
you're,
about, making dua to Allah.
you're not above any sin, man. You're not above it. And if listen again, it goes back to Prophet Yusuf. If he made dua to Allah for protection from major sins,
Subhanallah.
then who are you? Who am I? Who is anyone else we know? You know what I mean? And yeah, that's I think the main thing. Be humble, make dua, and be forgiving with your spouse, with your friends, with everybody, so that Allah may forgive you. And be positive, be kind, be gentle with your husband, be kind, be gentle with your wife. Husband, obviously, you got a bit more of a role to play in terms of patience. Sometimes your missus may say things that hurt. Sometimes they may say things that you don't like. And there's certain things that can be said when they're expressing themselves that you should be patient with. Obviously, there's some things that shouldn't be said, but I think we all know what those things shouldn't be said, but that cross the boundaries of like general respect that married couples should have for each other. But in general, as men, you got to be more patient. You got to put in the work. This is a team sport. Marriage is a team sport. Why women cheat? Listen, ultimately, you got to take accountability if you do cheat. But in general, listen, have a healthy marriage, and that's a team sport, and that's accountable for both of you. And you both got to water your garden, as Fayed likes to say. And both of you have to put that work in, And same goes for men. If a man cheats, it's not the woman's fault. He's done a wrong sin. If a woman cheats, it's not the man's fault. She's done the wrong sin. But ultimately, to have a healthy marriage, which can protect you both from cheating, you both got to water your garden. You both got to put the work in. You both got to be gentle, positive with one another, and kind, and communicate what you like, what you don't like. So
Absolutely, bro. Couldn't have said it better, bro.
yeah,
Allah barak fik, beautiful episode.
my brother.
May Allah allow us to all put our family first. Obviously, put Allah first before the mob comes after us. But put our family first, focus on them, water our garden, optimize this. Again, like we talked about in the last episode about polygyny, right? Before they even think about another wife, fulfill her own for the first wife. And vice versa for a wife to her husband, right? Sisters, not much I can add on to except this handsome brother over here, what he already said. But come on now. Men like physical attractiveness. Men like beauty. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is beautiful and loves beauty in his creation, right? We love beauty, right? Otherwise, Allah wouldn't have described the Hura line with such excruciating detail. Now, I know you don't like to hear that, but this is the reality. We love beauty. We love femininity. We love a nice charm, nice warmth, nurturing, care, right? We don't like to be clashing 24/7. With this being said, smash that like button, comment down below what you think, subscribe.
I got one more thing.
Absolutely.
Hashtag Fayed's a fitna in the comment section. Boom.
Don't do that, guys. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.